Welcome to Coffee with Kyle, where we sit with a student and talk about who they are over a cup of coffee. Today, we are sitting with Kevin Jenner. Kevin, how's it going?
I'm doing very well, Kyle. Thank you again for having me today.
Of course, thank you for coming by.
Of course.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. You brought something with us today.
Yes, I brought one of my many model trains that I exhibit around South Jersey.
Okay.
I'm originally from Manchester, New Jersey originally.
Now, where's that at? Because my Jersey geography is a little off.
Manchester's are located about 50 miles from here. It's in
North?
North. It's near the shore. It's near the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
So if you're thinking like an area like, let's say, Long Beach Island,
Gotcha.
Asbury Park, Seaside Heights, that area is where I'm from originally.
Mm-hmm. So what brought you down here?
I came originally I'm a Rowan Choice student, and I came originally to study civil engineering at Rowan University, but I later switched and moved on to film. So now I'm a radio, television, film major.
Now, tell me, you mentioned Rowan Choice. Tell me a little bit, what does that mean?
So Rowan Choice is a program which allows students like myself to live on Rowan University's campus in a residence hall, townhouse building, or apartment building in downtown and take classes here at Rowan College. So what I can also do, or what they also do, is they also offer a handful of classes at Rowan University at Bozorth Hall. It also allows you to also go to Rowan University events like Rowan After Hours. I can go to official events because technically I'm an affiliate, and I can also hold an e-board position, which I do hold as well.
That's awesome. So you get to take classes here, but then you get to live the lifestyle of a Rowan University student.
Yeah, it's quite amazing actually.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So I got a little went a little off track, no pun intended. But so tell me a little bit more about your trains.
This is a Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines AS16 diesel locomotive. And this is the type of thing you would commonly see in this area. So,
like on actual tracks, like going
like
through,
here in Sewell or in Deptford, where the college is located. The trains ran through here originally.
It would be like that.
This would have been actually what would have run through town. It would have been one of the types of locomotives that ran through town.
Now, when you say would have, do you mean
did?
Now, do they still use these?
No, they haven't used these locomotives since the 1970s. And they were all scrapped.
Gotcha.
Industry changes very much in the country, but a lot has still stood up. Like we have stations all over South Jersey that actually are still standing, and some of them are now museums, actually.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
One of which I work at, the historic West Jersey Depot in Glassboro.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about your work with that.
I kind of was looking to do exhibitions with my trains generally, so I thought to myself, hey, go around the area. So I ended up going on Facebook, of all things, and I ended up finding the Glassboro Historical Society on Facebook, and I see this picture of a man looking at a train module layout, which is actually modeled of Tuckahoe, New Jersey. A few days later, I ended up meeting a woman named Marie Lockwood, downtown Glassboro, who had lived in the town for years, said, oh, you should come to one of our open houses and speak to Rich Drobel. So after that, I went down, and I've been a member ever since.
Very cool.
And since then, I've actually been inspiring other hobbyists to get into the society, so that's pretty amazing. And we're currently working to get students at Rowan University to come down, volunteer, or come to our events.
That's awesome. It's awesome to kind of like give back a little bit, to be a part of something greater, to delve more into the history of things and to showcase such a neat hobby.
Of course.
When it comes to the model trains and stuff, do you have like a particular set that you like to display more? Is there, tell me a little bit more about
Well, this train here would likely be for a certain railroad. So I model two railroads at the moment, the Central Railroad of New Jersey and the Pennsylvania Reading.
So you try to basically recreate an actual rail.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
So this model actually, when it came to me, it's a kit. So I painted the handrails on it. I attached stuff like the bell, the tanks on the bottom, and all that stuff. And it's all powered through a DC motor.
Yeah.
But generally, I would build these things and actually display them to make them look more accurate.
Very cool.
It's more of a labor of love, and so what goes into it, it's not easy.
Right. Now, earlier you mentioned you were a radio, television, film major. Now, is like film like a hobby of yours as well?
It's always been a hobby of mine. I've always like used to have a thing where I would take my phone out and I would film things.
Okay.
Usually trains. That was always kind of the
Naturally.
epicenter of things.
Yeah.
And when I was originally coming here for the engineering program, my advisor at the time was like, engineering is very complicated, but you look very passionate at film. And I had shown her some footage that I had taken for my YouTube channel, which actually today just turned 5 years old.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. But after that, I switched majors, and then it's kind of been a comfortable process ever since. And of course, my videos have been centering around my trains. I sort of think of it as actors on a stage almost.
Right.
So like the layout that we just exhibited in Glassboro, that was not my own layout. It was someone else's.
Sure.
But it was kind of like my engine trains are the actors, they are the performers, and the stage is like a touring place. Like let's say the building over here on campus, the Performing Arts Building,
right,
or one of the theaters at Rowan University. That's really what I sort of imagine it as.
That's a good way to look at it. That's really cool. So outside of film and outside of like your trains and stuff like that, I mean, are there other hobbies you have? Do you have like pets at home, anything like that?
Well, I have 2 cats,
okay.
But they're at home. They're quite old. I have an older tabby cat named Iris. She's about 14 years old now.
Okay.
I think she's about 13 to 14 years old. Got her in 2009, so.
Yeah.
And then I have an older cat as well, Bernie. They're both scaredy cats.
Aw, so timid little cats. And
they're
stuff
very
like
timid.
That.
Like if you drop a pin on the ground, they'll
notice.
They'll squint.
They'll
scram. Yeah.
A little skittish. Oh
yep.
Man, yeah. Cats are like that sometimes.
Oh yeah,
they're a little like aggressive, or they're a little skittish, or they're a little cuddly, or whatever the case may be. So we're actually gonna wind down now. I'm gonna have one more question. Is there anyone else you wanna give a shout out to? Anyone else who's really had an impact on your studies or your devotion to the Glassboro Historical Society or anything like that?
I would probably give a lot of credit to my mom for believing me. I've had a lot of family issues over the last few years and a lot of problems that are still kind of finding way into now, but my mom has always been there for me.
Yeah.
And so I give her the greatest thanks for everything. I don't get to see her nearly enough as is.
Yeah. That's tough when you're growing up. You know, you're balancing your life and your work life and your school life. But it's great to hear that your mom has such an impact in your life. That's awesome.
She always like reposts whatever I do. When we did the student story post on Facebook, Instagram, she shared that. I'm like, I'm so proud of this guy.
Aww.
And I was like, wow.
That's great to hear.
Yep.
Well, that will wrap up our show here. Thank you all for joining us for Coffee with Kyle.